Good morning, everybody, on this glorious Sunday, Easter morning. It's my pleasure and honour to welcome you to the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, and we're going to have a wonderful Easter Sunday service. There's only a few of us here in church this morning. We've had some work done and people have been helping us, but we've got a couple of people here. My Jackie's here sitting at the table, getting ready for this afternoon's Highfield workshop, the last part of the day. And we're here to celebrate the rebirth of the light. Not just Jesus's resurrection, but it's the bringing of the light that he has to this world, the renewal. So we'll be talking about that later today. And I'd like to introduce our medium this morning, Reverend Lesley Knight. Lesley, good morning and welcome.
Morning.
Looking forward to seeing you physically back here at church one day.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Lesley is our healer trainer here at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, and she also sits on the Council of United Spiritual Fellowship along with Jackie and I and a few others. And she is a great asset to our church, and her daughter as well, who helps with the healing and counselling training. So all of us have got so many strings to our bows here. And today it's just the clairvoyance and the Sunday service. So I hope you enjoy all that. And I now ask Lesley to open our meeting with prayer.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our wonderful Easter service. Divine Spirit, Father God, we thank you for bringing us here today as we join together for our divine Easter service. We appreciate that during our service we can unite as one and bring comfort to each other. May each person here today be given upliftment and encouragement and help to lift their hearts. May they not be afraid or lonely, knowing that your love and the love from our church family is around them all. May our world, our planet, be filled with love, light and healing and happiness. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Let's now all say together the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. In keeping our prayerful thoughts, let us join together in healing for those who are sick and in need. Those names are deeply inscribed in our hearts and our minds, who need the love and the comfort of the Spirit. And at the Easter time, we also think of those who are alone and are feeling lonely, but seek the comfort of Spirit in the form of guides, loved ones, and angels. So we pray for a few names here. We have Jill, Amber, Jackie, Ellie Charles, Kelly and Stephen, Tasha Smith, Ange and Peter, Shirley, Babs, and all those names that we have not mentioned this morning, whose names are inscribed in our hearts and our minds, who need the love and the comfort of Spirit. Let's have a few precious moments of healing thoughts. Heavenly Father, we ask a prayer upon all those people we have prayed for this morning, and also for those names inscribed on people's hearts and minds that we have not read out this morning. We also pray for all of those who administer healing in hospitals, doctors' surgeries, therapy centres, and in spiritualist churches and churches as a whole. May their work be blessed and continue for the upliftment of mankind as we know it. So mote it be. And if I can ask anyone if you're able to donate to Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, we have a PayPal account. If you wish to open a direct debit, people have done that as well. The PayPal account is paypal.com, paypal.me/LAD promotions. It may come up United Spiritualist Confederation, but that's a trading arm of the church. So it will go to the church, I promise you. And if you're not able to, we fully understand. And thank you for all the efforts that you do for helping us keep this church alive and keeping spiritism alive as we know it. So we'll say hello to a few names on screen. Thank you, Richard. Sharon Hobbs, good morning, Sharon, welcome. Phil, good morning. Easter blessings to you. Olwyn, good morning. George, good morning. Lovely seeing you. James, good morning, James. Hope you're well. Stacey Shaw, good morning again. I saw you quickly on camera yesterday, I think I did. So hello, everyone. Misha Hostora, good morning and welcome. Lynette Elizabeth, good morning. Sue, good morning and welcome to Wimbledon Church. Michelle Harris, good morning and welcome. Emma, good morning and welcome to the service. I hope you have a nice time. Kelly Marie, good morning. Noreen, good morning and welcome. Claire Zimmerman, good morning. Hope you have a lovely morning with us. Shelley Hawkins, good morning. Welcome to you. Good morning, Joe. Eileen Macy, good morning. Mary Dixie, hello Mary. Lovely seeing you. Christine Wooden from Spain, good morning Christine. Love to you, darling. June, good morning and welcome. Hope you and the family are all safe. Kim, good morning. Hope you're all well down in Kent. Teresa Thatcher, good morning Tess. How are you? Alison Barton, good morning. A couple more. I'll ask one. Petra, good morning. Hope everything's well. And Holly Johnson, good morning and welcome. Well, friends, I've got this morning's reading from a book called The Aquarian Gospel. It's a book that my mum gave to me. Sadly, she didn't doubt it, or mum and dad gave it to me. I was about 13 or 14 when they got this for me. And it's a book and readings I like to use at Easter and at Christmas. And Jesus opened up his eyes and said, "All hail the rising sun, the coming of the day." And then he folded up his burial gowns and rose for a moment, stood beside the white-robed forms. The soldiers that were left fell upon the ground and hid their faces in their hands. The stronger stood and watched. They saw the body of the Nazarene transmute. They saw it change from mortal to immortal form, and then it disappeared. The soldiers heard a voice from somewhere, from everywhere, some said, "Peace, peace on earth, goodwill towards men." They looked into the tomb, and it was empty, and Jesus had risen, as it was foretold. The soldiers hastened to Jerusalem and to the priests, and behold, the Nazarene has risen, they said. The tomb is empty. The body of a man is gone, and we know not where it has gone. And then they told them about the wonders of the night. And the leader of the high council of the Jews said, "He cannot have risen, but he had risen in the hearts and minds of those who knew him." So might it be, friends. Blessing upon these words. Now I ask Lesley to get ready for the clairvoyance, and I'm just going to speak a few words beforehand. Easter Sunday, I think, is one of the best days for spiritualists. And it's a day where we, as spiritualists here within Wimbledon Church, and maybe some of you within your homes, acknowledge quite strongly the risen Jesus. Jesus said before his crucifixion, the temple will be destroyed, but within 3 days it will be rebuilt. And Jesus was foretelling his own resurrection, his own coming back to spiritual life. And it's important as spiritualists that we acknowledge that. Now, we've had a discussion here already at church with a couple of people, and how you see Jesus as part of the Godhead is individual and separate to you. But you have to understand, Jesus did not come here to cleanse this world of sin. Jesus did not die on the cross and his sacrifice to remove sin from the world. Jesus came to reform Judaism. Jesus came to give love to people. And people rejected that love. People did not want to love their fellow man. And to a small degree, this is happening of today. There is so much turmoil in this world and what's going on at one moment or another. And I do think in some aspects of the world's become a little bit selfish with looking after themselves and not worrying about others that surround them. And the duty of a spiritualist is to think of those around them and to look at the resurrection of Jesus as what we say as spiritualists, and especially at a spiritualist funeral, there is a renewal of light. There is a renewal of body from a flesh body to a body of spiritual light, which is there for everyone. I've been a spiritualist since the age of 11. I was the junior member of this church at that time. And I have witnessed so much power and evidence of continuing life. And it's always been there. It's through eons of time. And we must never forget that. But we should never be ashamed of our testimony in that. St. Paul tells Timothy, when the message goes out of season, bring it back into season. When the message is in season, keep it fresh and renewed and live. And that's what I'm trying to do here at Wimbledon. So is Jackie, because we want people within the Spiritualist Church to know about our history, know about those pioneers who forged forward with the truth. We're trying to discover who's the most prominent pioneer. For me, in one way, it's the Fox sisters as a whole. And it's spiritualism from Emma Hardage Britton, who came here to bring the message. And the message is as diverse in this country as it is any other church and denomination. Because there's your national spiritualists, your Christian spiritualists, and I'm proud to say I'm part of United Spiritualists, where we try to unify people of mind, body and soul in the concept of life after death and continuing life. And also, more importantly, how we can spiritualize ourselves to become better people. Jesus taught many, many things in his life. Some are very much written in the New Testament, some things he used from the Old Testament. But one of the commandments, when Jesus was asked, what is the greatest commandment? Jesus said to love the Lord thy God with thy heart, thy mind and thy soul, and to love thy neighbour as thyself. At this time, in our time and place, that's a very hard thing to do, because people are at war with each other over COVID. People are at war because they're frightened of getting COVID. People are at war because some people don't believe in COVID. But that's how life is. We don't always see the same shade of grey. We don't always see black and white. We see different things. And that's what makes us so unique as living entities upon this earth. Spiritualism is divided, as I say, mainly between national spiritualists and Christian spiritualists. But there are, I remember a few years back, a Jewish Healers Association. There was an Islamic Spiritualist Association based in Preston, I believe. And those things are important. And within our concept here at this church, in principle, we accept the leadership of Jesus. But we also acknowledge things that are written aren't always of Jesus. They're what man have written. And we have to remember how the church was formed in 325 AD by an emperor who at the time was not even a Christian, he was a pagan. It was because certain bishops wanted certain things to be certain ways. So then you got the beginning of the creeds and how people thought. And they killed a lot of people because they disagreed. We had the Reformation in Europe in the Tudor times. And not only in this country, but around Europe, there was the executions of Protestants because they were not reformed, because they were reformed Christians. You got the execution of Catholics because they wouldn't reform. And we have to look, where in anywhere did Jesus want this? It's partly man-made because someone says this, this and this. Should have done that, I'm not the camera. That we must accept that we have a light within us, and that light shines brightly when we're at our best, teaching, propagating our truth, going forward into this world. Jesus not only had 12 disciples, but he also commissioned 70 disciples. And he sent them out to the world to baptize in the name of the Spirit, to heal in his name. And what he meant by healing in his name, just not Jesus' name, but heal. Heal with love, heal with strength. So many people, even in our traditions, say they work in love, but do they? How they argue and disagree. Yes, Lesley and I will perhaps disagree on certain doctrine. I know Jackie and I will certainly disagree on certain church belief system. But that's what makes this religion of ours so strong and vital, because we come from many places. We come from many aspects of life. And if we've lived previous lives, we bring some of that with us into our discussions and into our belief system. What I do know, and what I passionately know, is that Jesus lived. The bits in between, we'll never really know. As much as I love Doctor Who, if I had a TARDIS, I'd like to go back and listen to what he had to say. But some of the words that he gave, like blessed are the meek, blessed are the poor, are so vital of today. They're just not Christianity, because Jesus wanted a universal aspect to his belief system. And mediumship is more than giving of messages. And I know how many of you out there in the virtual world and within our church when they're here, how much those messages are important to them. For me, to come to church and receive a message is the icing on the cake. It's an added special day, especially when it's a message that I fully, clearly comprehend, get it and understand it. I've had a message this morning from Les, which we've been able to confirm some of it from my dad. And I knew he'd be watching me, and I've had to clear out and throw a load of stuff away, because my dad did not like throwing anything away, and I've got papers going back here to the 1980s for his. But what's important is how we live this spiritual life, how we go forth into the world. Now, we all have a mission. We all have a purpose. Maybe it's talking to somebody about your spiritualism, the evidence you receive. Maybe some of you it's writing poetry and prose. Maybe some of you are clairvoyants and going out to give readings and messages. Somebody I know who's a medium, quite close to me, he's done quite a few readings for people living in India. And he had started a conversation with someone a few weeks ago, and they asked for a specific Hindu god to come through and communicate. And Ashley tried to point out he couldn't guarantee it, but he gave, I shouldn't have said his name, I've done it, but he gave his message and gave his hope. I've got a lot of people telling me what baby Rachel's going to have. Is it going to be a boy or a girl? I have to say about 75–80% of the messages that I get, it's going to be a girl. So some of us will be very well done. Some of us think, oh, I've got that well and truly wrong. So my nephew, my grandson Ethan said she's having twins, one hiding behind the other. So we wait and see on Tuesday when the birth happens. But what you can't wait and see is how you put into practice your spiritualism, bringing your message, your strength to the cause. When this church was first founded, it was called the Wimbledon Spiritualist Mission, because they said they established a mission and it became a church. But I still like to see it as a mission, because we need to go out and proclaim our message, to proclaim our truth, proclaim our understanding. You can't always do that perhaps how I would like it. Both my parents had a spiritualist funeral, and they had uniquely different in each case. My dad had a very large attendance and coffin draped in the flag and everything what he wanted, where my mum had a more humble, quieter service, which was my mum and reflected my mum as much as my dad's reflected it. But we got the message of spiritualism over. Some of my relatives have said to me over the years, how can you really believe in this? Aren't you hurting with your mum dying? And I said, but that's the thing, my mum has not died. Because dead, died means finished, gone, no more. They've gone from into a more spiritual body, better, stronger than flesh. My mum's pains of her body and her heart worries, all gone. My dad's cancers, all gone. And we know how much my dad still, for want of the word, and I use it in a gentle sense, haunts this church, because his presence is felt here, it's seen here. And we're just waiting for Dad to pass his poltergeist course to do more, because that's one thing he always promised to do, would be a poltergeist course. So Lesley has seen him in her circles, and other people have in their circles, hearing him and talking to him and see him sitting there observing and reminding them when it's time to go home, instead of just sitting there chatting and burning the midnight oil, as it were. Today, Easter Sunday, the light has returned. But we must acknowledge it never left. So this is a time of renewal. Along with Hydesville Day on Wednesday, we renew our faith and our strength. We pledge ourselves to our cause, our common cause, which is spiritualism, to proclaim the message, to take the message out into the world. Upon the highways and byways of life, we take that message. We proclaim our truths, never to be ashamed of our testimony. Don't look at the crucifixion of Jesus helplessly hanging on a cross. Look to today, the glorious resurrection, him risen, the light returning, bringing forward the message of hope and comfort. Friends, there is no death. But in saying that, you must learn to spiritualize yourself, to make yourself a better person for your journey ahead. I may not be able to travel with you all upon that journey, but those I can travel with, I will share and do my best to help. But remember, we are not alone. We are here. Be it with Jesus, our guides, our teachers, the ministers of the Spirit, as Harry Edwards used to say in his books. We are not alone. And if you are at home feeling alone, go into a meditation. Find that peace of God that passes all understanding. Find that inner sanctity of life within you. I conducted a church last night for Easter, and Jackie's been doing Hydesville for the last few days here. And we finished tonight with an evening of clairvoyance with Ashley Robinson and Ian Mason. And that's the beauty of our clairvoyance and our mediumship. We give that evidence of life after death. But what do we do with it? So many of you have families that have passed to spirit, husbands, loved ones, maybe even children. They are not dead. They are in the light. They're in the countenance of the Spirit. And they are not alone, because we are not alone. Good morning. God bless you. Have a great Easter Sunday. God bless you, friends. We're now going to have our mediumship, and we're going to ask Lesley to demonstrate the gifts of the Spirit. Please remember, friends, there is a few seconds delay, so you also need to, if you're saying yes to something, you need to emphasize what you're saying yes to. So if Lesley should say to you, I've got a man here with a wooden leg and a parrot, you can put your hands up and explain who it's what you're saying yes to. So be strong this morning with the messages. Be guided by what they're saying to you. And they're coming back to show you you are not alone. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll once again reintroduce Reverend Lesley Knight. Thank you, Lesley.
Good morning, everybody. It's so funny, Ray, because as you were sitting here, I was just being told by Spirit, and I hope you don't mind, just for 5 minutes before I start the mediumship, Spirit have asked me to do something concerning light, which is what you were talking about. And they'd asked me before you started talking about the light, and it would just a quick 5 minutes that can I just ask you quickly to just all close your eyes, everybody watching, everybody that's watching this morning, just close your eyes. And I feel this is very, very important because the times we're going through at the moment are tough for everybody. And I want each and every one of you to visualize a golden light. And I want you to feel that golden light going into your body. Feel that light going right into your heart area. And feel that light lift you. Feel the energy you're being given, the love you're being given from the spirit world. The love that's telling you you're important. And just feel how this light is lifting your spirits. As Ray said earlier, this is new beginnings. Bring that light into your lives. We're moving forward. Take away any darkness, any depression, any negative feelings. Just surround your body and take that golden light right into your body. And notice how different you feel. Because you're being sent this energy and this love this morning from the spirit world. And I know it's so special. And I'm sure each and every one of you are going to feel so totally different when you take this light in. And just enjoy that light as it goes deep into your heart. Now I want you to send that light out. Send that light out to our world. Send that love that you've been given, that energy, that upliftment. Send that light out to our world to take away any darkness. Light is stronger than darkness. As we move forward, send that light, that healing light, that energizing light, that upliftment to our world, and feel how happy and how relaxed you feel inside. Now I hope you don't mind, Ray, but I felt it was very important that everybody had to do that this morning. And you know me, if I'm being told something, then I go with it. If Spirit tell me to do something, I hope that's uplifted everybody. And you can always do it a bit later as well. But
Thank you, Les.
So yeah, right, we'll get on with our mediumship now. So I hope everybody feels a bit brighter. It's so important to send that light out, especially at this time of year. As Ray said, it's very important, isn't it? Very important time for us. Very special time for me, Easter. It would have been my first wedding anniversary today, but hey ho. Maybe next year. We'll see. Good morning, Danielle. Okay, so as I sit and link in, I see normally a queue of people that are standing waiting to come forward and give a message. Now today, everybody seemed to bundle forward. And I sort of said to them, come on now, we're British, we stand in queue, you know, and they sort of got in a bit more of an order. But the one person that really pushed forward first was an elderly lady. Now, I do feel she wants to talk to her daughter or her granddaughter. She's very tiny, this lady, and very slender. She's showing me herself in a lovely pink cardigan. Now, I don't know whether she'd have worn pink cardigan or whether this is just symbolic because she shows so much love and emotion. And as she's running forward, she's got a daffodil in one hand and she's got a rosary in the other. So I do feel this lady would have had a Catholic religion, and it would have been quite important to her. Her religion, it would have been very, very important. She's got as I'm seeing her, she's got quite nice neat grey hair. Her legs are very, very slim, very, very slim legs, and I can see her with what looks like, do you know the old slippers that my nan used to wear, and that used to have the button on the side and the big pom-pom in the middle? She's got a pair of those on, a pair of big slippers, which makes her legs look even smaller. I'm glad lots of you are putting up comments about how happy you feel. That was what it was for, and I want you to keep that happiness inside you. It's so important, and that happiness was sent to you today, especially from the spirit world. And as Ray said, we've got to take that light in. So as this lady's coming forward, I feel she wants to connect to her daughter or her granddaughter. I don't know whether anybody recognises her. She's also wearing one of those aprons that went round, you know, that used to wrap round, that my nan used to wear as well, you know, the full apron. Claire said it could be her nan. Okay. As she's coming forward, she's showing me chickens. Now, I know Tiny Lady Grey Catholic, very religious. Yeah, sounds like a Claire. Let's see. She's showing me chickens. Now, I don't know whether this lady would have had chickens in her garden or whether it's symbolic, because I feel the person she wants to connect to this morning, their head is spinning all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. And she's saying to me they're running around like a headless chicken. So whether anybody can actually understand the physical chickens or whether it's just symbolic of... Eileen said you could place it as well. Okay, definite Catholic connection. Let's see where we're going. I don't know why. I mean, I haven't worked for quite a while. I've had a bit of a break, but the last few times I've worked, I seem to have got a connection with more than one person. So if you can understand this, then please. Claire says she's cooking a chicken at the moment and her head's spinning. Yeah, I do feel I'm with you, Claire, but if you can recognise this lady, please listen, because I do sometimes think you get more than one connection, and it's a way on the internet of people getting a message, even though it's not an actual one-to-one. So please listen, the rest of you. Okay. Yeah. I do feel I'm with you, Claire, but please listen, everybody else. It's as though you're running around like a headless chicken. You don't know whether you're coming here, there. She's telling you, slow down, slow down. Okay, there's an awful lot of you that can understand this. So I would say to you, please listen. And if you can understand the message, then take it, okay? Because it seems to be a funny way that I've started working. And I'm not copping out with that I don't want to just particularly link up. But if somebody can understand that, that's okay. She's shown me a book as well, and she said whoever this is that she's connecting to, and I do feel quite a link. I do know Claire. Obviously, I don't know all the ins and outs about her, but I do know her. But she's showing me a book, and this looks like the Bible, and whoever she wants to connect with has lost their spirituality. Now, I'm saying spirituality rather than religion. Now, to me, my spiritualism is my religion. And where this lady was Catholic, I don't necessarily feel that the person she is connecting to would have a very strong Catholic religion, but they would have a belief or a faith that they follow. But it's sort of gone by the wayside a little bit. And she wants you to get that connection back. I don't know whether you'd understand this, Claire, at all, or anybody else would understand it. But she's showing me this book. She's telling you to slow down. And she's actually using the phrase, smell the roses, smell the roses. You're missing so much where you're rushing round. You're missing today. You're worrying about tomorrow. Enjoy today. And this is what she's saying. It is so important. And I feel this is important for all of us, that we're all worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. It's resonating with a lot of people. Okay. We're all worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, and will this happen and will that happen? And we're missing today. And this lady, and I do feel she's your nan, Claire, she's looking out the window and she's saying, look at the daffodils. Oh, you are Catholic. I didn't know that, Claire. Do you connect physical and able to do that? Okay, I didn't know you were Catholic, Claire. Thank you for that. She's saying, look at the window, look out the window, look at the flowers, look at the sky. Take on board how wonderful nature is, because we're all, and I'm saying we all, because I do feel this is important for the other people there that can understand this. We're missing out. And we're so worried about tomorrow that we're missing out on today. And she's actually saying you're wasting your life. And I don't feel she means that in a derogative way, but you're missing so much. because it's going past. Just slow down. Yeah, there's a lot of you out there, isn't there, that can understand this, and it does make sense. Okay, daffodils are important. She's bringing this daffodil forward, and I think it's, you know, when I said about the light, and Ray's talking about the light, and we've got the light evenings now, we've got the sun shining. Enjoy nature. It's so important that we've got to enjoy nature. This message, I do feel, is personally for Claire, but I do feel it's important that we all listen to it as well, and myself included, because I'm as bad. You know, I'm worried about what's going to happen in the future, and I'm missing out on some things that are happening today. Okay, let's see what else she wants to say. She's also talking about your feet. I don't know whether she'd have had problems with her feet. Oh, goodness me. Somebody's going to have a barbecue outside. Let's hope they're not going to play music. Or you've got problems with your feet at the moment, Claire, whether you'd understand this. You're not getting out and about as much as you should. Now, I know we all can't get out, can we, because we've been stuck indoors and everything else. But it's so important to get out in that sun, even if you just go and stand outside your front door, okay? And I'm again aiming this at everybody, because this lady's quite wise, you know, and she's saying even if you just stand outside your front door and, you know, you soak up that sun on your face like we did with the light, soak that up, feel that nature, feel how wonderful the world is. And I really think this is really, really important for us at the moment, because we're all missing out, and we've got to bring that essence back into our lives, okay? Now, I don't know whether you've written a letter to somebody, Claire, or whether there's a letter you've got to write, because she's showing me you writing. And I don't know whether you've been putting it off. There's something you've been putting it off. You need to put pen to paper. And this is what she's showing me. And this lady, it's funny because it's as though she's coming through and giving everybody an address, which is quite odd. It's going to be a funny morning this morning, isn't it, I think? Noreen's said she's got a pain in her left foot, treating a bunion. Okay. If you can understand this, Noreen, because I feel as though this lady is Claire's now, but she's actually talking to everybody, which is quite strange, which I've never had before. And I've forgotten what I was saying. Bear with me as well. I can't remember the link. She's saying to me, it doesn't matter what religion anybody is. It's not important. That when you go to the spirit world, there is no religion. You know, everybody is together. It doesn't matter what religion you had when you're on the earth plane. When you go to the spirit world, you're all together. You're all one. And as long as you've got faith, and keep your faith, and this is what she's saying this morning, which is very important. Keep your faith, keep your strength. Don't be beaten. Don't let life get you down. And this is such an odd message, but I'm going with the flow, because if Spirit tell me something, I trust Spirit. And I feel as though this is for everybody that's actually watching, or anybody that can understand this, that we mustn't let life get us down. And as Ray said, we must bring that light into our lives, and we must look forward and have our faith and keep our spirits up. And I'm going to leave that with you all. I hope you can understand it, Claire, and the other ladies that understood it. But I do feel that message is letter writing, okay? I do feel this message is for all of you. And I don't know, she's talking about a bracelet, Claire. I don't know if you've lost a bracelet or you've stopped wearing one, but she's talking about a bracelet. So if there's a connection there with the bracelet, that you'd understand. Okay, I'm going to try and move on, because I want to get she's still out. Okay, Well, see, you see, Claire, people do change when they move to spirit. This is a thing, and I think this is where, you know, when you pass to the spirit world, we've all got our ideas of what it's like. But, you know, we learn so much, don't we? We learn so much when we're here, but we never stop learning. And I think even when we pass the spirit, we never stop learning, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to try and move on if she lets me, because she's quite domineering, this lady. And it's like she's holding, it's like she's so tiny, but it's like she's holding everybody back. So I'm going to ask her to step over and let somebody else speak. Otherwise, we'll be with her all morning, I think. Okay, so Richard just asked me to remind you that we are streaming to Facebook and to YouTube at the same time. So, of course, there might be a little bit of a gap before you can reply to my messages. So let's see who we've got now. Okay, I've got a young stepping forward now, and I do feel he wants to connect to his mum. Now, I don't know if his my granny's. Oh, you still there, Richard? Okay. Okay, I disappeared then for a minute. Yeah, I've got a young gentleman with me. Now he's stepping forward. He wants to talk. He wants to get a message to his mum. I'm not sure his mum is watching this morning, but I do feel that there's somebody watching that knows his mum. This gentleman would have taken his own life. I would say his late teens, early 20s. He's only young. Because he's saying, I'm so sorry. Tell my mum I'm sorry. Now, I'm getting the name Peter, but I know a Peter that took his life, so I don't know whether they're showing me that connection. I'm not always spot on with names, but I'm getting the name Peter, whether that would be a connection in the family. Okay. He's showing me. He just keeps saying to me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I couldn't cope anymore. I do feel this was quite recent. I don't feel as though this was a long time ago. This might have even happened during COVID. He's talking about his auntie. Would there be a lady that would have lost her nephew that is watching this, that would know his mum? My friend's son took his own life. He was 19. His dad is Pete. Okay, Karen. You would know his mum. Would you know his mum, Karen? This lad totally changed personality towards the end of his life, but he didn't tell anybody how he was feeling. He was holding it all in. He didn't speak to anybody about it. And he's saying, if only I'd have spoken to somebody, they might have been able to help me. People asked how he was. People could see that he was, could see he wasn't himself, but he wouldn't share anything with them. He's talking about a job. I don't know whether he'd have lost a job or there would have been a problem with his career. Oh, you're Karen. Okay, Karen, if you understand, please listen. I do feel a connection with you. His mum is your best friend. Okay. I don't know whether this was to do with a job or career or some sort of learning that was put on hold. I do feel this was because of, this might have been around the COVID time, but he was so, he couldn't see a year ago today. Oh, bless him. Oh, bless him. That's why it's so important. Because, yes, it would have been COVID, wouldn't it, last year? because I do feel the COVID had some sort of an effect on him. Oh, bless him. He couldn't see a future. He couldn't see. Well, he's saying to me, when I look forward, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything. What was the point? And he didn't want to be a burden to people. So I don't know if you can understand this, Karen. He wouldn't have wanted to be a burden to his family. And he felt if he wasn't here, they'd be better off. And of course, they'd never think that, and they wouldn't. But this was how he was thinking at the time. He wasn't thinking normally, okay? He was having mental problems. His mind wasn't working normally. He had to stop college and couldn't cope. Okay, yeah, I thought there was a learning thing around that. Yeah, okay. He's saying, will you tell my mum I'm okay because she's struggling? And bless her, of course she will be struggling even more today, won't she? Tell her there's nothing she could have done. It wasn't her fault. She's blaming herself. And she's saying, if only I'd have done this, if only I'd have noticed. He said, there's nothing you could have done, Mum. There's nothing you could have done. I don't know whether there's been a child that's been born. I feel there's been a baby being born in the family since his passing, because I feel he's always saying to me, I've seen the baby. I've seen the baby. I know we were talking about learning earlier, but he's saying, I'm learning so much over here. I'm learning so much. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm fine. And he's actually saying, I'm so much happier here. And I know that's a hard thing to say to somebody, but he just wants his mum to know he's okay and to stop blaming herself. And of course, today's, if it was a year today, that is going to be such a hard day for her. And he's saying, I do feel mum's got a picture, or she keeps a photograph of him around, and he's saying, tell mum, look at my picture, I'm smiling. Don't think of me as being sad. Look at my picture, I'm smiling. Remember the me I was. Remember the fun we had, not the sad times. And she hasn't seen her grandson yet. Oh, bless. Well, he's saying he's seen the baby, okay, because I knew there was a baby. And I don't know whether there's any connection with his name and the baby, that he's been remembered somewhere in the baby's name. But he's seen the baby. And he's actually saying, you're going to have so much fun with that baby, Mum. And there's going to be traits of the new baby that she will see her son in. She will see her son's traits in the new baby as well. But she mustn't blame herself, okay, Karen? She mustn't blame herself. He wants her to move on. And he's talking about a bike. And I mean, with this, I mean a push bike. I don't know if she's still got his bike. Just photos everywhere. He had ADHD. Oh, bless. Okay. Yeah, my one of my grandsons got that. It's not nice, is it? I don't know. He's showing me a bike, so I don't know whether he enjoyed riding on a bike. And I feel this is a bicycle rather than a motorbike. Whether she's still got that, or whether it's just a happy memory. Yes, the baby has his name as his second name. Great. I knew that there was some connection with his name and the new baby, like as a memory. That's fantastic. He's proud of that. He's sort of going to be, he's quite proud of that. He's really, really chuffed. He's going to keep an eye on this baby. He's going to keep an eye on this baby. And he's saying to me, the baby will see him. As the baby gets older, you'll notice that the baby will suddenly stare into space and the baby will actually see him. and he just wants to bring lots of upliftment to his mum, and it's so important. You bought him a chop-off bike for his 16th. Okay, lovely. Remember the happy times. He's saying, this is so important, Mum. Please, please, please stop crying. Please don't cry. Remember the happy times. Laugh with me. Don't cry with me. That's what he wants her to do. Laugh with me. Because I feel as though he would have been quite a joker as well. He would have done silly things. He would have made people laugh when he was here. And he wants you to remember, you and everybody, and especially his mum, to remember that side of him. And I don't know whether Mum and Dad go to his grave a lot, or there's a significant place where they go. They feel they need to go to be with him, because he's saying, I'm not there, I'm everywhere. I'm at home with you. I'm with you when you go to the shops. You know, everywhere you go, I can be with you. I'm not in this certain place. And I'm going to leave his love with you, because hopefully I've got time to do another one. So I'll leave that with you. But please send his mum so much love and upliftment from him. And he wants her to laugh with him. Okay. Okay, I've got a lady and gentleman coming forward now, and they feel like grandparents. I mean, obviously, if they would be parents as well, but I feel there would be a connection with a grandchild here. They're very, very upright, and they're coming through together. The gentleman's got he reminds me a little bit of my granddad, but he's much taller. He's got a like a blue, sort of dark blue navy cardigan on, very smart, with a shirt underneath, and looks like black trousers or dark trousers. Very, very smart. The lady she's quite a tall lady as well. And they both look very, very stern, but I don't think they were stern. As they're coming forward, they both look quite upright and quite stern. Now, people always say to me, I've got a miserable face. And I say, well, I can't help it. I was born that way. So I think these people are a little, a bit like that as well. And I'm not sure they've been through before, because it's as though they're saying, well, what do we do now? So let me just see if I can link with them a little bit. They're actually holding hands as they're stepping forward, and I don't think there would have been a great amount of time between their passings. They would have passed very close together. It's as though they're coming forward as a unit. They would have always been a unit together. They're telling me October would be an important date for an anniversary. I don't usually work with months, but October would be an important date for an anniversary or birthday or passing. And I'm being told the 24th of October, so I'm giving out what I'm being given. Stace said it sounds like her nan and granddad. Can you understand the October, Stace? He wore blue cardigans with shirt underneath. They were both tall. Yes, this lady is quite exceptionally tall for somebody her age. Okay. And he's also they passed within 6 weeks of each other. Okay, I felt it was a very close connection. Can you understand April as well, Stace? I do feel I'm with Stace. Michelle, if you keep October's your mum's birthday, his daughter, brilliant. Okay. And I feel as though April is important as well. I do feel I'm with you, Stace, okay? So let's see what they want to say. Now, as they're stepping forward, they're being very, very formal. And they're telling me they want you to speak your truth. Okay? There's things you want to say, Stace, that you're holding back on. Now, I'm not just saying blurt it out and upset people, but if there's something you don't want to do, will you not do it? Will you stand your ground? And if somebody doesn't agree, I mean, I know Ray was speaking earlier about, you know, we don't always agree on things. April full of birthdays, okay. Okay. We don't always agree on things, but it doesn't stop a friendship. And this is the impression I'm getting with you. Not everybody has the same views as you, Stace. And I do feel there's been arguments around you, or even people maybe have ridiculed you a little bit, or you felt a little bit that you've been ridiculed because of your beliefs. And they're saying, no, stand your ground. Okay. It's important for you. I'm not saying whether you're right or wrong, because they're not telling me, and it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong, but just stand by your beliefs, okay? And stand up for yourself. Be strong. They're telling me, be strong. Put your foot down. Put your foot down. So I don't know if somebody's taken advantage of you a little bit, whether you don't want to hurt their feelings by saying something, but they're telling you you've got to stand strong. And I do feel this couple would have been a very, very strong couple, especially together, because they're so united and they're coming through together so strongly. Together there has been arguments. Okay. Right. Nan passed in October, Granda passed in April, a couple of years later, son's birth. Okay. So, Michelle, it looks as though I've got another double whammy. If you can understand this as well, I will still link with Stace. But if you can understand this, Michelle, then please take the message, because this seems to be happening to me all the time when I've been doing mediumship online. Okay, they're saying put your foot down, and this is Nan saying this. Nan is saying put your foot down. Nan would speak her truth. People might not always want to have heard the way she spoke, but she would have spoken her truth. And she was very blunt when she said something. She could be very, very blunt when she said something. She wouldn't have intended to be nasty, but she would have spoken her mind. And people would have gone to Nan and Grandad when they were upset, because they knew they were very wise. They got a lot of, they were very good about giving out advice, and good advice. But they're saying, you know, if you didn't have to listen, you didn't have to do it our way, but we gave you the option, and that's what they're saying. And this is what's important. You've got to make your own mind up about things. Okay. She's showing me a jewellery box. It looks like a jewellery box or a little box. So I don't know whether this would be a memory of you having a jewellery box that belonged to her, or a memory of her having a jewellery box that you might have looked at her jewellery when she was younger. But she's showing me this jewellery box, and I do feel it would have made a noise. You know, when you lifted the lid up, it would have been a music box sort of thing as well. So I don't know whether you can understand that. And she's actually going like that with my mouth, which looks really good. And she's saying, smile. Will you smile? Will you smile? Because you've not been smiling as much as you have done. And we probably all haven't, have we? But I think that's what this service is all about today, is just, as Ray said, you know, upliftment, bringing that light into everybody, because we all need it. So I'm going to leave their love with you, Stace. She had a way of making people find the right choices. Okay. It was like, yeah, I'll give you my advice. I know it's the best advice, but you don't have to listen. And a musical box. Okay, you understand the jewelry box. Okay. She's actually, as they're stepping away, she's giving me a dandelion. You know when you blow on the dandelion? What's the significance about the dandelion? I think there will be a memory there with you with the dandelion, but also she's telling you it's time. It's time. Now, I feel you'll understand this, because she's not telling me. She doesn't want everybody who's watching to know about this, because there's something you've been thinking of doing and moving forward with, and she's saying it's time. Oh, and you have Nan's jewelry box as well, Michelle. Wow. Okay, that's brilliant. Well, I'm going to leave their love with you. Have I got time to do another one, or are we finishing, Ray? Have I got time for another one, or we
Sorry, I
finish
can
it?
get to the lead. Yeah, you can do, or if you're finished, you're finished. That's
All
fine.
right, I'll
Whatever.
just see if there's
Yeah.
anybody else. Let me just see if there's one anymore. Okay. Right, I've got one lady, to try and make this really quick one. I've got one lady coming through. She reminds me of my Auntie Maureen. So I don't know whether Maureen, dandelion, she made wine with them. Oh, wow. That's good. But it's time as well, Stacey. Remember that. It's important. The time is now. This lady's stepping forward. She reminds me of my Auntie Maureen. So I don't know whether the name Maureen is significant with somebody. She's very, very life and soul of the party. She loved a party. She loved to dance. She would always have a full face of makeup. She always had her hair done. She's shown me herself, I would say, in the 60s. You know, when they used to wear those big skirts that stick out with the net underneath. And she's shown me like those white stilettos they used to wear. So I don't know whether, I don't feel she would have passed when she was this age. But this is, she's saying to me, this is when I was at my best. And I would be the same. You know, when I go over and I'm going to come through when I was at my best. Not when I'm falling apart like I am now. And that's what I feel she's doing. This lady would have loved jewellery, but it wouldn't have been expensive jewellery. Oh, Michelle said she's got an Auntie Maureen that's passed. Okay. Would it sound like... Yes, she did. Okay. It wouldn't be gold jewellery, but it would be that dress jewellery, big earrings and... yeah, she's showing me the big earrings and the necklaces and that sort of jewellery. Okay, I don't know whether you've been suffering with tummy problems, Michelle, but she's saying whether it's like acid or you've got stress in your tummy area, because this is what she's showing me. And you two need to calm down as well. You've got to slow your pace. And I do feel you're fretting and you're worrying about everybody. Mum and Auntie used to go dancing in her younger days. Okay, lovely. Can you understand this tummy feeling I'm getting, Michelle? It's sort of like an acid or a stress in the tummy area. I know a lot of people, when they get stressed, they get headaches or pains on their shoulders, but I feel this is going to the stomach area. It says just as though you're worrying about everything. Everything you can think of, you're worrying about at the moment, Michelle. You get anxiety there sometimes, okay? And she's saying, will you just let it go? Emma could take this Maureen on. I've had on stomach. Okay, Emma, then obviously I've got another double link again. If you could take it, then great. And if you can understand this stress feeling as well. She's telling me, can you just let it go? Laugh, put some music on, dance around the kitchen, because this is what she'd have done. And she what's that song, Do Wah Diddy Diddy? I'm sure the Dum Diddy Do, I can't remember who sang it, but she's singing that song to me, and she's dancing.
Manfred Mann.
Yeah, Do Wah Diddy Diddy, whatever it is. I'm not going to sing it, show myself up. But she's singing that song to me, and she wants you to put the music on, dance around the kitchen, and lift your spirits. Yeah, you do worry about others. Okay. She wants to, this is a very quick one. She wants to bring joy into your life. Lift your spirits. Music is fantastic. She's saying to you, put on gold or something that plays the old music. So I don't know whether you like the old music or it's just the music that she liked. I mean, I like the 50s and 60s, but, you know, I was really only a kid then. But but this is what she's shown me, and she wants to uplift your spirit. She wants to make you laugh. She wants to make you happy. I'm going to leave her love with you. What's she giving me before? For some reason, I have no idea why, she's giving you a red jelly. You know, one of the ones that you used to have in the old days. They used to have them in the metal thing that used to come out in this shape, and it's wobbling, and she's giving you this jelly. That's it. I think it's a walking down the street. Well done, Emma. That's brilliant. Yeah, you've got it on now. Oh, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad. Yeah, sing along with it. That's what we should all do. We all need to uplift our spirits and sing and listen to music a lot more. She's shown me this jelly, and I think that's a little bit how you're feeling at the moment. Love music, been playing 70s and 60s lately. Fantastic. Sing along to it, have fun. And she's actually just gone like that and squashed the jelly because she's getting rid of that wobbly feeling that you've got. There's a little bit of a wobbly feeling. She squashed the jelly and she thinks it's quite funny because it's all over her hands now. But this is what this lady was. She would have walked into a room and uplifted everybody. And I'll leave her love with you both, because I do feel you can both, Emma and Michelle, can understand this message. So thank you very much for listening to me this morning.
Thank you, Les. Thank you very much indeed. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope the congregation have enjoyed watching you as well. Thank you very much. And I think, Les, if you and I started singing that song, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I think we would too. I think we'll have to do what Emma's doing, just listening to it on the radio and singing along.
Yeah, very much so. Richard, we've got some adverts for this afternoon and this evening. Hydesville, we've got Ashley on this afternoon talking about bits and pieces to do with Hydesville from 1 o'clock, and Ashley and Ian Mason tonight at 6 o'clock. So thank you very much. We'd also like to express our thanks to our producer Richard at Spiritual Psychics TV for all the work he does for the movement as a whole, and for our shows. Lesley does Lesley's meditation on a Friday. And here on a Sunday and all weekend with our Zoom, he's been very great in helping us. So thank you very much indeed, Richard. He's a very quiet, silent worker in the background, and he's helped us with our spiritual weekend that we're doing a joint effort with next year. So in Bournemouth in March. So please look at the website. So friends, we're now come to the end of the service. We'll be back here next week. I'm sorry I can't remember who the medium is next week, top of my head. I think it's Michelle Scott, but I'll check that at the moment. I should check. So I will check. It's the following week, it just told me. Very important, we keep that light shining, keep that light going. I don't know how many of you know, but in the Greek Orthodox tradition, a priest goes into this chapel and he comes out with a lit candle, which has been lit by the Holy Spirit. In its own way, that travels around the world, that light. And we need to do that ourselves, be that light, be that sign, and be that symbol. And we need to do that. And before I ask Lesley to close with prayer, I've got a teaching from Zodiac here, just a little piece. And it's a fulfillment of God's promise. We part with joy in our hearts, the promise of God, seen a little more in its fulfillment, with hope in our hearts and knowledge that the full promise of God shall be fulfilled in our own way, by our own dedication and those who pass hence, giving us the encouragement back here on the earth plane. And Zodiac then says, I bless you all as I take my leave. My love goes out to each and every one of you. Whether you desire it or not, my love is there. It is also Jesus' love, the Master's love. Peace be amongst you all, but hearken to the call which you should all come to. Farewell, farewell. So I ask Lesley now to close our meeting with prayer.
Thank you, Ray. And as Ray says, send out that love, send out that light, and uplift everybody. Don't stop singing. So if you join me with a closing prayer. Divine Spirit, Father God, we've come to the end of our service. We thank you for the messages of love and support we were given today. May I ask that all those praying with us now be blessed and protected, and may we carry on proving that life continues and there is no death. Please keep us all in your love and your light until we meet again. Amen.
Amen. Friends, go out to the world, proclaiming your truth, but more importantly, go out today where you can, enjoy yourself, enjoy the sun. It's a little bit sunny here in Wimbledon, and I know it's been pretty nice in Portsmouth, but go out unto the world, bringing forward your light, your truth, and proclaiming the message. God be with you all till we meet again. Goodbye, friends.